to it. It is map 2, and it is very likely to be a similar storyline. Cash gives a little bit more room for Mousesports to get maneuverable and get aggressive, but it's Fnatic.
I like your spirit.
Look, I try every time, and you guys just shut it down. Would you please be nice, gentlemen, for at least one night?
Okay, let me give some context here. Olaf Meister on Cash is just even the worst thing to play against in the world. He can go godlike on this map, 20 for 0 probably incoming. I've seen it before. Like, he goes absolutely ham on this, and if he's against a team like this he knows aren't drilled, he'll just be having so much fun running around.
Or JW just pushing door, getting that pick, or pushing A main and getting a pick, or going B and pushing that. That's the problem right now, is that there's going to be so much aggression from Fnatic and their CT side all across the map that it's going to take some extreme patience from Mousesports. But then the problem is, when they do start spending that time doing nothing, they would need to have an execute to throw at Fnatic to actually produce a round, which unfortunately as a mixed team they probably don't. So that pretty much goes out the window.
They won't even have the opportunity to do the execute, though, I don't think. I think they'll be pushed so aggressively from the CTs at the beginning of the round. They'll lose a frag before they even have the opportunity. So their options are they do the set piece right away, like go to A, do a full set execution with the smokes. But I think at that point, we'll just see players pushing into A storage, pushing squeaky door, like you said, and it's getting the first frag, if not more, and falling back, and that won't really work out for them. So very difficult state of affairs. I think Fnatic will be starting on the CT side here. I don't think it really matters what side, but
if I'm Mousesports, like pretty much the only option right now I see is to take the battle in the middle and just hope that I'm getting lucky with the trades going in my favor. I don't think a straight up play to B or A is going to work at all for them. I think it's the best bet right now is to try and make sure you get the kills in the middle and then work something from there on out. But even if that's going to work is very questionable.
Well, if the first map's anything to go by, it's going to be a very difficult state of affairs.
And rather quick.
Yeah, well, yeah, that felt like you're on the server for about 10 minutes. I'm not even kidding. I don't know how long that was, but one of the quickest games I've casted in a while. So, Cash, like I said, is one of the maps that Fnatic really can be deadly on. We thought Train was brutal. And fragging ability on here is just as formidable. So, like I said, this is Mousesports' pick, though, so maybe they have got something on their sleeve. Who knows? Maybe this is the one map they're prepared for with their little mixed team.
There you go. There's you being the gentleman for a change.
For a change.
About time.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're being objective.
Queen is not proud of your manners. You're not invited to tea.
I'm here to give my thoughts and opinions on the game. I'm not going to censor myself now.
That's fair.
Yeah, your job is not to sugarcoat anything.
All right, well, I'll be the white knight for Mousesports.
Yeah, exactly. That's your job.
All right,
you keep sugarcoating.
Well, here we go then. Straight into it, boys.
And spice and all things nice.
So we know T-sides, especially maybe underprepared ones, would like to rush B in this scenario. We can see 4 sets of armor there. Speedy, still considering his buy. He will pick up a smoke and 2 flashbangs. I'm actually heading towards a middle area at the moment. Maybe going to do a quick boost over smoke of Z-Halls, and it's going to be very fast. God B leading the charge there.
Bomb is intentionally dropped down inside that big garage as well. Watch for JW, but can't do anything. So now they've got mid control. Do Mousesports the opening pick, but the aggression from Fnatic already pushing through that long position. Bomb down, as you mentioned, gives Pronax the chance to give up the A site because it doesn't matter at this point. They've got to retake their territory near T-spawn. As odd as that sounds, they're going to try and do so with 3 people, and unfortunately, Olaf Meister will run out of ammunition. As such, only able to pick up 1. Does still give the man advantage to Mousesports. They've recovered that bomb in the process, and they'll run that over toward B. Pronax will be hot on their heels on the flank. But with Gob going through the vents, Nex already in on the bomb site, Speedy just needs to walk to the platform and try and get the plant. Grim's coming, or initially looking, to go to heaven. And Nex, although he has the bomb, is just checking to make sure. Pronax has already got that first kill. Speedy wants to make sure there's not going to be anyone pushing through that vent position, but knows that Pronax is coming and eventually gets that kill. Meanwhile, Crims gets Nex, so he's got to turn his back immediately the other direction. And unfortunately, it's not so quick or swift as he would have liked.
Giving that kill to Pronax was pretty much the fail that happened in that round. If they managed to do the plant where it's towards that vent room beside the box on the site, it would have been really hard for Fnatic to get that retake. But getting that kill before the bomb went down was pretty much sealed. Well, that made it that much easier for Fnatic to make it happen.
Yeah, so we saw that mid-aggression coming in from Mousesports at the start. They actually did pretty well, got the opening frag there, took control of that area, but the reaction from Fnatic pushing into A storage, getting the bomb down, and making sure that's he overcommitted a bit, to be honest. Pushing the squeaky door, they didn't really have to push out that much. He could have just fell back at that stage, but the headline is they win the round. 4 spy coming in from Mousesports. 2 AKs, 3 Tech 9s. This could be difficult to hold off.
And again, just relentless aggression from Fnatic as JW already inside that big garage with an MP9. There's going to be no one directly in front of him. I don't have to confront right away, but Speedy's also going to get pushed in by Olafmeister from Sunroom. Eventually, one of those two people is going to pick up a kill in this situation.
Flash's and Pronax's positioning in A just says they have a lot of respect for the Tech9s, though. They're really passive on the side.
Meanwhile, though, Crim's also picking up a kill. We did see that play in mid transpire as according to JW's plan. Gives Pronax now the PP Bison a chance with 60 bullets, even more than the P90. To fire away on next on entry. JW's come back over to join it, and Olafmeister with the M4 is able from range to pick up Gobby. Nico on top of the drop with an AK. I think he'll just sit there and hope someone walks into his crosshair. To do what damage? Salvage some pride even at this point.
Yeah, I actually like this approach from Mousesports. I think it was a nice call. Get the 2 AKs out and see what you can do. A map like Cash does favour that, but not even getting a single kill with that buy. You've got to question what went wrong there. It was a pretty decent approach from them, but Fnatic capitalised once again.
What I want to see really when you do that kind of buy is that you have a set piece that you want to run. Like
at least give your teammates the opportunity to get some frags. You need to make those. The Tech9s to be there, causing the chaos on the bomb site and getting the attention away from the CT players, and the rifles come in and make the one-bullet headshots. That's the whole idea of the plan. Obviously, people just dying one by one, not really doing too much there. You want to make sure all 5 players are together and at least causing that distraction. This has to be full eco now for Mousesports, 2-0. Fnatic not showing as much aggression as they did last couple of rounds, allowing. Crim's taking quite a lot of damage there.
Yeah, on the way back through, down to 13 HP.
And look at Fnatic. They're pretty much 3 players towards B, 1 advance and 2 on B side, which I think is a smart choice at this point because this guy here, JW, he can do so much rotation towards anywhere basically. He can go to B, he can go to mid, he can go to A.
He actually didn't do a lot of damage, didn't quite go far enough, although it looked as though it did from our perspective. Either way, the weapon will be sufficient when they walk forward. So Nico and Gobby go down, the last 3 remaining players with the 3 that started out in the B tunnels and remain there. They'll fight forward, take down JW on the way through. Again, we've seen that Crims has gone very low on HP. Flush is on 8. There's still a bit of a chance here for Mousesports, but not with Pronax and Crims arriving as they do. Pronax with the PP Bison again will manage to take down next. Look underneath the hell. That's where Speedy remains. Has bomb, but won't be able to get near the site to plant it.
I like the way you pronounce that gun. It's quite nice.
Thank you.
Bison.
Bison.
It's good.
En français.
Well, here we go then, the first gun round. No AWPs for Mousesports yet. They will be suffering a little bit from that force buy in the second round. We're going to have a replay here of Pronax really knowing his gun. Pretty exciting stuff. And let's go into the first gun round then. 5 AKs. Not too much in terms of Molotovs for Mousesports. They have got 5 smokes though, so that set piece we did discuss could come to fruition for them. But the AWP of JW in middle is going to be so difficult to handle. And that's the aggression from Pronax who talked about pushing Squeaky Door, got locked down by Nico. So they are aware of what Fnatic are up to.
Good smoke wall. In front of Olaf. No Speedy and at least one of Speedy and Nex are there, I should say. Maybe not both, but knows there's at least a presence on the other side of that smoke. JW, again, starting off well. Takes down Nico with the AWP this time, no less. Does bring it back, though, because Pronax was lost before that to Nico. So another opening pick for Nico to work with. I will give him credit. He's been able to at least find those even on terrain, but unfortunately when you're playing against Fnatic, that can all mean nothing with the amount of skill and precision that this team has. Walking into B, they'll walk into Fnatic again. It's Olaf and JW that set up a nice crossfire, and JW continues on as JW with the AWP will drop the bomb off Speedy for the second time. Watch, though, where Dennis was. There was a chance in Small Pit he might pick up one, but doesn't even get that far.
That smoke in front of that B side is just going to slow down the attack so much. It's going to make it so hard for anyone to push through. And then Crims being on top of those boxes, getting a lot of vision. And then the crossfire and the backup came in and basically it was over at that point.
Well, so far, more of the same from the first map. Fnatic, even though losing the first frag, the Pronax goes down in the Squeaky Door. But it seems like the Mousesports don't have the executions to actually get into the site, and they can't capitalize on that first entry. JW takes down God B, and the onslaught continues, make it a double. Nico gets his head taken off as well.
JW again starting off so strong with 2 kills. Getting some stats added up quite quickly this evening, as Olaf's already rotated around from B. Doesn't even have to do anything when he gets to mid. JW picks up at 3rd, and Flush has got 2 to go with it.
Well, now Dennis is going to say he has taken over the AWP role recently from Chris J. He goes for the glass cannon. That's the AWP of no armor whatsoever, so very risky buy definitely. He's got 1 smoke to play with that. But the way JW is hitting those shots in the middle, he's definitely got his work cut out for him. That's a nice little 1D from next side. Actually missed that the first time around. So impressive stuff nonetheless, but not going to get them around just yet.
Good reactions by JW, and he came in quite quickly. Spread out a lot more evenly this time are the terrorist side looking to work picks. Nico's at squeaky. Pronax, though, watch for him. He's pushed up in middle underneath that drop on the CT side. Crims is also in the vent. So combine that with the fact that JW is the third man in middle, and they've got a very heavy presence. Not only that, Crims going to get rather cheeky with his movement. Crafty and get up on top of the garage. Not common to spam that spot or check it quite so easily. But meanwhile, Nico again finding an opening pick. He's done well at that, I have said, and continues to make that a problem. Speedy's also made it through the tunnels in B. Oh, watch out, though, because Olaf's pushed up in the smoke. He'll compensate for the fact that Speedy could have cut off that rotation.
If only the bomb was a little bit closer to the site, it would have been perfect for Mousesports, but now Fnatic just picking apart Mousesports.
Next, meanwhile, gets in on the ace site. Free kill on JW, who maybe didn't think he was so close, and follows that up with a swift shot onto Crims just through the edge of the electrical spool. And with the bomb down now on A, although both on quad, a chance perhaps. Watch for a Molotov, single Molotov to move them out of position. Luckily, Dennis picks up that kill as soon as they move, because that gives them half a chance, but not when Olaf jumps like that with a USP.
Are you kidding me? Those boys just got owned, I'm afraid. That was so sick from Olaf Meister. When I was about to say when Nex was alive in that 2-on-4, it definitely never counted him out the round. He opened us up really nicely, and it looked like a round they had tied up as well. Olaf Meister, I'd love to see a replay of that from his POV. That looked amazing.
Like, what are you going to do when those like kind of things happen? It's just unfair. You feel like I finally have an opportunity, and then Olaf Meister just jumps in with a USP.
Boom.
Boom.
Bosh.
What? I mean,
Whoops.
I don't know. I'd be pretty mad if that happened to me.
No.
I don't even think you could. I don't think I would. I think I would just be like, all right, whatever. He's that good. I'm not even going to argue anymore.
No, you wouldn't be that way.
You're right.
Come on.
I rage in H1Z1, for God's sakes.
It's true. You should have heard the language you heard this morning. Very colorful.
Well, either way, there's not a lot of color on Mousesports' side. Standard formation with 5 AKs. There's a little bit of color for JW, though. In fact, quite colorful if you look at the skin. Mind you, it is the op. Not quite the throwing arm on the lad, though, as that nade gets misplaced. Either way, this does now give Nex 5 members still alive, 4 of which are heading toward the B site. Nico's inside A main by himself. He'll try and open up something, force a rotation potentially out of Fnatic, have to compensate for the fact that they'll be weakened on A, but doesn't matter. They've got to win duels against Olaf Meister, and they do. This now gives them a chance. Watch for the rotation in the vents. Dennis was looking at it, but he's put his eyes in a different position, and that now allows, never mind. I thought Pronax would get that shot. Dennis gets it instead. 4 HP left. But they've got a chance to work in on this B site. JW not able to connect the first shot, and they've sold it. They've actually got Nico in. If he can find Flusha, the bomb has a chance to get planted again in the A site, and he does. Watch for JW to get the return kill, but still Godby has a great chance to place this bomb. Dennis will come up from highway, and he knows Crims is going to be rotating over. Speedy's got to act more quickly. Live up to his name, because if he could have caught the heels of Crims before he got inside Z, he could have come into effect. Instead, he leaves Godby on the site to do it solo, and it's going to have to be brilliant from him. He's got the first kill on JW, but still Crims is close. And Speedy just comes out to spot him, puts some damage into him, but not able to close it off. He does give his teammate a chance to walk out while he's occupied, and finally Mousesports will get around.
Yeah, finally they capitalize on the actual first pick. They actually got a lot of times on train as well, getting the first pick on the map and not really being able to do much with it. This time they get the pick towards B onto Olaf Meister, and then sell a convincing fake as well. They peeled a lot of CTs away to that B site, got the bomb on an A, Flusher on a very low HP at the back of quad there, gets taken down, and they get the first one on the board. But again, we always say this, whenever you get the first round on the board, you're in a very fragile position. You need to make sure you get this next one. Or potentially lose a couple of rounds after that. So JW opening up the fragging onto Dennis there. Double up setup now for Fnatic.
JW again has his team, his comrades, I can't even speak anymore, inside mid with him. So they're going to continue this 3 mid presence for Fnatic. There's so many ways to skin a cat, and Cash has many different approaches to it. Fnatic, much like they do on Mirage, putting a very heavy mid presence at the start of each round. It pays off as well, because Pronax and JW bring it down to just Nex remaining. He's inside the A site, managed to get through Squeaky, but they've also heard that door open, and as such will just walk over to that position and fire away.
That was a throwaway round. Nothing really going in Mouse's favor. JW getting that first pick, Crim's getting that second pick. Then people trying to get on A, but not really.
Didn't watch their flanks at all, did they? So like JW just pushes behind him in AWP. It's like you can see how much he's not really caring because he's just bunny hopping around of an AWP and not being a little bit too over cavalier for my liking. But there we go, 7-1. And as I discussed before, after winning that first round, losing this one, you're back to $1,400. They have forced into the round though, so it's not all over yet. They've got Tech 9s, PT50s. This one they definitely have to win. JW missing that opening shot. The last thing he's to say, but next takes down Crims.
Pronax gets the response, though. But again, if you want to look statistically, another first pick for Mouse. Unfortunately, with pistols, can they do much about it? Next manages to pick up the M4 and now take down JW with it. So he's had a large contribution in this round. Not only that, they blind up Olaf. That's an eco round win right there from Mousesports, and only their second in the game.
So they showed that presence toward middle, and I think JW missing that shot kind of worked out for them. They may have taken the attention away a little bit there, rushed into B, and we know how efficient those Tech 9s and PT50s can be by running, get the frag, get onto the bomb site, and held on while the retake came in from the CTs. And, yep, not really much more to say in that round. They made the frags of the pistols, which often so much in CSGO these days. But here we go, going into the round number 10, full buy, both teams.
No more first pick this time for Mouse. Different approach to mid as well. They don't put so much pressure because they push out toward that squeaky with Flusha. Pronax is on the fence. Gobby kills his teammate Nex.
What?
I think he was trying to spray toward the fence, and unfortunately Nex went around the corner at the exact moment he did, and it was through the smoke, so he couldn't quite see it. That just falls everything apart as JW pushing in will pick up 1 and 2. With the with the AWP is Speedy managing only the 1 kill to salvage anything from the round. That needs to be shown in replay.
I think Olaf Meister's chat where he said that really does sum it up quite nicely.
Because that's exactly what Mousesports needed at that point.
Exactly.
There wasn't even an assist there, just straight up team kill, spray your teammate 100 damage. So
here it is. Oh, are we gonna see it? JW, that was the opening pick. Here it is. Next, yeah, look, just walked out. That was the first.
Bro, it's me.
It wasn't even in one spray. It was in the second.
Okay, well, there we go. Once again, money reset for Mousesports. Of course, they are force buying into this Desert Eagles this time.
This could be scary for Fnatic, guys. There's boosting on the site.
They did put that initial nade out. It only did damage onto Dennis. So watch for Olaf. He's got the crossfire set. And of course, in Fnatic fashion, they did look for the skylight boost at least once this match. It wouldn't be them without trying it. They get Olaf on the way through. He was a little bit out of position and ran out of ammunition, but as such, it is Speedy now the last alive, who manages a knife kill, mind you, on Flusha after, and he stays with it. Okay, this is how you know they've just thrown the towel in, but manages to catch Flusha off guard.
This has become comedy hour.
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Well, to be fair to Mousesports, let's just make it clear to everyone how it's not that they're not trying. Anyone who's tuning in right now may be thinking this looks a little bit silly, but it's the fact they haven't got their full lineup now. The first time we've had Nico here, Speedy's been removed from the team, so it's very difficult to play against the world's best team when you haven't got that much preparation on the board, unfortunately. So I assure you they are trying. It's just almost impossible to play against a team of this caliber without.
It doesn't really matter how much you try when you're playing as a mixed team against the best team in the world.
There is still a double elimination as well, so they'll have time to sort through and potentially even come back through the group. Not to mention there's the last chance qualifier. So, although yes, it's nice to do things the easy way, there's another opportunity for Mousesports. And as I say, they managed to pick up a few kills this round that could make all the difference. 4 versus 2 as they get inside the A site. Speedy's got bomb. He's going to plant it. So it's JW and Olaf Meister together, both coming from middle, looking toward highway. Olaf's actually going to go beyond that and head toward the truck. So they'll split onto this site. Nico, Speedy, they're the ones that are up close. Mind you, Dennis should be able to spot Olaf first from the forklift, and they're going to have to play this out carefully because they need yet another round. As Olaf gets 1 kill, it's Nico to respond in JW. That means they know exactly where Olaf was before he does eventually perish to Nex.
I think those rounds is what Mousesports need to keep doing. Instead of trying to work the picks and getting taken down by random pushes, just choose a bomb site to go to together. Hopefully you get in when Fnatic are doing something a little bit more audacious on the other side of the map. And that's when they're getting in, keeping it as a 5 and working the numbers in their favor. So that was much more convincing. So I'd just say they'll probably just do more stuff like that from now on. The pick game has not worked out for them. So now they've actually broken the economy of Fnatic a little bit. Scout being bought for Flusha, CZ on Olaf Meister. So this is a round you should favour for Mousesports, but let's see how this one goes down. Obviously, can never really predict anything with these guys.
Off in the corner. Inside the B tunnels. Better angle to look at it to give you exactly
look at how passively Mousesports is playing now. they're all the way even outside of that B garage, waiting for that push to happen, which is happening.
Yep, good read.
Nico might come around the corner at the same time, though. Thankfully, next spots roll off first, so gives them the kill. They've also found openings on A. Double that up as Dennis gets all the way in. Doesn't stop at all after that first kill, and Flusha can't do much to respond. Mind you, the bomb is on B, and that's where Fnatic's last two make it one remaining players are. Crims, just outside of the CT connector, is down on 15, and Dennis, who is waiting in mid, will find him. But as I say that, just to point out, Crims did pick up 2 just before.
It was like a flick of a switch for Mousesports. It looks like a different team the past couple of rounds, playing really, having a lot of composure, taking it easy, and going in together, having a plan, it seems like, for once. And here we go. They just get the first picks and take over our site and get that bomb down, win the round.
Look at this. There's potentially more rounds to come for Mousesports as well. The economy for Fnatic isn't great right now. Full pistol buy. They have forced into it. It seems like Mousesports going for an aggressive mid-take here, trying to get that early presence, and frags being exchanged pretty early on.
JW does pick up that 1 kill with the CZ 75 as he looks to get aggressive, but Scofar crucially, Mousesports still favored in this one. Damage dealt on a Pronax, but Dennis not confident that he truly was inside that smoke. Watch for Nico because his back could be slightly exposed when he comes over. And just barely stays out of the vision of Pronax, turns back and does get him when he eventually looks toward Highway.
So 2 players remaining now for Fnatic.
Nico crossing over into A just barely before spotted up by Flusha. Does damage to him. Through the flames, Dennis will go, and this will pinch Flusha, but managing to get Nico will keep the round alive a little bit longer. Goppy's got bomb, and eventually they'll take it toward 8, not even needing to plant it. That's the 5th round for Mousesports.
That was a product of overconfidence and just merely not respecting your opponent enough. Force buying in that round literally really didn't make any sense. They should have just saved 1 and go for a full buy here and make it a 10-5 instead.
That round's cost them 2, essentially. This is a round they go in
possibly,
with, with 3 deagles. If you're guessing how this one's going to go down, as long as Mousesports approach it with the same sort of mentality and stick together, work frag for frag, they should be winning this one. It looks like they're going heavy towards B this time. 4 players invested there again. Just waiting for that push from Fnatic. It worked out for them last time. They can see it's going to happen once again.
As they try and get forward, watch for the kills. Dennis does pick up Olafmeister, so will save position based on that force last time on the pistols. Here's Mouse, another potential to get 6 rounds T-side. Not too bad considering the way this all started. Considering they'll swap to the defense next. Watch for next. Speaking of it, we'll take down Crims. JW, though, does respond to keep it 3 versus 3. And not only that, JW's managed to pick up an AK-47. So they'll have to silence him soon. Meanwhile, though, Flusha's still going to pick up a kill on Dennis. And there it is. The AK just picked up. Might be enough. They'll find JW eventually on that flank as Speedy gets the kill. Picks up bomb. Has a chance to rotate. He's going to fake it. He's actually going to go back toward this, but do they have the information? Pronax was inside the B tunnels, but wouldn't have been able to hear him from that range. He has gone down mid. Both defenders splitting up on either site, so it's a double 1 versus 1. Needs to be careful with his back exposed to the A site. Fortunately, he's not going to get spotted. Very nearly did. So now it will come down to Pronax. Or will it? Flusha's come back as well, and there it is. Deagle, 1 Deag to finish it. 10-5 from what could have been 9-6, and that might just be a significant difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they managed to win that round in the end, even with pistols only. A bit of a scrappy play there from Mousesports. Just sort of getting cluttered up in that choke point and getting killed.
Well, that's the thing. If you're going to commit that many people to B, I think when you do hide behind a smoke like that and you can't see the pop flashes coming through, that's when you put yourself in quite a vulnerable position. I think they would have been better off just doing a full-on rush B. They know they've broken the economy of Fnatic, and they just waited to lose quite a lot of damage there. Olafmeister pushing through, getting good information there, and they pushed from on the other side of the map. JW going in behind. It's causing all sorts of chaos there, and it's put them apart 1 by 1. I think they'd be much better off just with investing fully into the side. But here we go then. 5 sets of armor once again for Fnatic. We saw this on D-Train. And obviously that does suggest something very simple coming to play. 4 players heading over towards B, but the bomb, interesting enough, actually heading towards Squeaky Door. There's a strange one.
They're planning for a CT connector.
Nico again finding opening picks. Brilliant shot on Pronax. Has to fall inside the site. They are going to fully commit to this. Dennis is going to rotate on the flank, but as you guys already highlighted, bomb's heading towards Squeaky, and Speedy has just left that A site. So free plant for Flusha. And how many members of his team are still going to be alive to help him out in this situation because they're all dead. And they'll soon realize when they all walk into this B site, wait a minute, guys, we've been sold. So all 4 of them together in tandem, knowing there's only 1 more player remaining, should still be able to take down Flusha. But how much time can he buy himself here? Because there are... Okay, take that back. I was going to say there are no kids. Gobby's got 1. That does help significantly here. And he's going to actually let them cross. He's going to be cheeky about this. If this works, Flusha would look like a god. Unfortunately, can't do much more than just pick up 1 kill.
This is something we do with NIP as well. 4 guys rush B, and then Forrest went for door and planning for that short area towards CT middle.
I guess the idea is you get the kills into B and you can push through, and then it's more of a pincer idea. Then you're pulling people away from middle to the vents and stuff like that, and they come to nothing.
It's called pulling an old school.
Well, unfortunately for them, Nico, that's the key thing you have to do on those B rushes. You can find the first frag. It really does lock it down quite convincingly. And Fnatic did get a bomb plan there, not investing as heavily as I thought they would into this round. They'll be looking to the next one, getting the AKs out perhaps. This round is trying to grind down the CT money a little bit more. Boosting 3 players, it looks like, up to middle. And they'll be bursting, but Nex is going to be waiting for them along with Dennis.
Nice shot by Nex to start it off. Second one is equally as successful. Call Dennis to make the find in third. Nex gets the hat trick with the USB. So Olaf suddenly last alive. Not really much done here by Fnatic so far. This anti-eco, and this is a pretty heavily invested buy right now for Mousesports with the 3 M4s out. A couple of them weak on health as well, but Dennis is able to catch Olaf before Gabi takes any more damage.
Well, not really much to say about that round. Like I said, just trying to do any damage they could to the CT economy before they bought the AKs. And they get all there as well this round. Having a look at what they have to play with in terms of utility. They have 2 smoke grenades. That can be enough. They probably want to work the picks to start with, have a look at the middle, see whether they can find that frag at the sandbags area. And I'd assume they'd do the simple smoke at a squeaky door, pop flush out, and just swarm the A site. That's what I would predict here. So
and they've got to smoke in middle to let Pronax just get in and cause havoc. Nico's inside the vents. Gabi boosted him, so that means Nex and Dennis. That's 4 players toward mid, so Speedy's got to come up rather large. And they do, again, have the weapons out for Fnatic. Nex is able to pick up 2 again. Solid last round and a half for him as he now leads the way on 18 for his team. Second overall on the server, interestingly enough. But bomb goes down for Fnatic. Crim's finding Nico. Means that things slow down significantly on this retake. And Gabi, he now knows, rather JW knows, that he is going to be from truck as he sees that nade get tossed out. Sees him come out to the left, but Abel is next to take down JW. Another hat trick. 6 kills over the last 2 rounds, and significantly enough, it might just be the nail in the coffin. A 4th, 7-2 for Nex.
So I did mention before, they didn't have much in terms of equipment to actually bring to that round. So very simple, fast push onto the A bomb site, but didn't seem to find as many frags as they would like there. Came down to a 2-on-1 situation. Crim's unable, very low HP in that quad area, just waiting for the inevitable, unfortunately for him. But they did open up onto the bomb site. Flusher got them onto the side here. He did get 2 nice frags, but after dying there, it just wasn't enough for them. So again, Fnatic force buying to this after getting the bomb down. It's justified, I guess. They can afford to, but I'd say just wait for the actual full gun round instead of letting these ones build up. Actually getting pretty competitive now for Mousesports.
Yeah, this is not a bad situation at all, considering it's 2 rounds difference. Again, 9-6. We would be tied up 9-9 right now after picking up the 3 rounds after the pistol. Pistols, by the way, over the 2 maps are split 2-2. So gun round's definitely the issue. Not surprising when you've got a team with the skill of Fnatic. But what can Mouse do on this round with the boost over top? They've caught Olaf Meister, and I think and do believe they've spotted the bomb as well. Next now finding Fnatic, as JW will go down. Gives them a 2-man advantage to work with, and Crim's following along is also going to work very well for Mousesports. With everyone still alive and only 1 more enemy to go. Not to mention Dennis on the T side of the map is about to spot up that bomb in the big garage. Should pretty much secure things here. Flusha just going to try and do what he can from this mid position. Maybe manages to pick up next. Speedy coming out though, and Dennis, there it is, from behind, will get the shot. It's only 1 round now, 10-9. And not only that, Fnatic doesn't have a whole lot of money.
These kind of decision making, it can really make it hard for you if you keep buying that kind of a half buy, going into it, giving Mousesports 3 rounds essentially. So at this point, if I'm Fnatic, I would just make the stop of it and make a full save and then go fully invested on the next one.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We can see them actually will take your advice here. PT50, CZ, but no real investment in anything else. They've got a couple of grenades there. Molotov and a nade as well, but taking it onto that mid area.
Nico finding Crims with the op inside B, now shuffling over to the platform just so he's not caught in transition. Gabi was able to support that with a flashbang. Not that it mattered, they weren't really close enough, but nonetheless significant that they've got the teamwork in place as they continue to stack up the kills. Fnatic not really finding much even on these anti-ecos. They may now with the Tech 9 as Olaf. I'm surprised Nex didn't come in to check her sooner to get that kill and try and save his teammate.
Well, another simple round ready for Mousesports. They really are building up some decent momentum here. Good money as well. You can see Nico AWP in hand and 8 grand in the bank. He's looking very strong. But now, finally, Fnatic do have a full buy to present to the CTs. JW will pick him with the AWP himself. But let's have a quick little replay of this, the round just gone by. Pretty simple cleanup really for the CTs. Not really much brought from Fnatic there. So this is a round that's very important as we go into 10-10.
Boost up as well for JW, who does have that AWP to try and find a pick in middle. But Mousesports, much like Fnatic did, are putting 3 people there initially. It's Gombi who is playing Z Connector. He's rotated a little bit sooner. Speedy's alone on A, which means that they're playing the solo op on B. We don't see that quite as much anymore. Usually solo ops A are in mid and supported with a rifle. But Nico electing to use it on the B site, as JW will get boosted up yet again, falling off his initial efforts. But as time has expired, what's rotated away? Not much. They still have Dennis and Nex up close. And Nex going to try and use that smoke to his advantage to just get a better angle toward that drop position. But so far, patience for Fnatic. They're going to swap it around now as well. JW's gone down, but they brought Crims with Olaf Meister to bring rifles into play. Nex just barely looks away at the wrong time. They still manage to pick up both kills, and it's he, in fact, who does nail both of them. Watch for Dennis inside that corner, down to 6 HP. Needs to be careful, but Nex gets aggressive with the hat trick, swaps to the pistol. JW hits the shot. And where there is a problematic situation for Dennis stuck in that corner on low HP, if they could have picked up the second kill, Fnatic, they might have had room to breathe. That's not going to happen.
Honestly, if you're going for that mid take, you need to use flashes. To, if there's any possibility there's a CT up close, you really make sure you're using flashes to make it that much easier. They just gave some easy kills for the guys, Mousesports guys who were pushed up.
To be fair, that Mousesports reaction and prediction as to what Fnatic were doing, it was timed perfectly. They were sat there waiting, just driving out and holding out Fnatic as long as possible. As soon as their smokes ran out, you saw that the Molotov being deployed on the roof there, and it forced Fnatic. They'd already committed to that stage, running through pure fire, and actually was a really nice play from Mousesports, I have to say. I think that was actually great utility usage there. And now, once again, Fnatic being forced to buy up here. It's easy, but they're going for a much faster strategy. Running through the fire once again, though.
And their 2 already dropped over this time, and with the kill on Nex, it puts a lot more pressure on Dennis. He's actually forced up highway as a smoke is deployed in front of him, and Gobby also blinded up inside Z Connector. Gives mid, it concedes it to Fnatic. What can they possibly do to try and split on this A site with it? Pronax will wait in mid with bomb to make sure they do get the entry kills required, and Olaf Meister taking down Dennis means they just might. Watch for Gobby to try and go for the re-entry on the site, but as he falls away through the smoke, it is Pronax still inside middle to get the kill, and suddenly it's left to Nico, the B player who does have an AWP, to try and prevent, but well predicted from Fnatic as they already bounce out a flash. They're also going to go for a plant and a boost at the same time. So JW is able to spot up Nico.
Yeah, so realizing their slow approach to the round got completely locked down there. They just went for something very quickly, and it looks like it's 11-11 once again, Matthew. Make a wish, please. Let's hope it goes true. But just to go back to what I was saying, yeah, so they just wanted to utilize their aims there, get out to the middle as quickly as possible, split the A-bomb site, and made the kills. And finally, a round going in favor of Fnatic. It's been a while since we could say that. So, Mousesports will be buying straight back. We talked about their money being very strong right now.
Dennis just on the edge of that smoke, trying to put some damage in, but again, that Molotov doing damage. JW down to 60 before he even spots anyone. Pronax, similar fate, and that allows Gobby to pop back out and finish off quite easily from the vents. JW, and he'll do the same to Pronax. Things looking very well in Mouse's mid-control, but as soon as I say that, Fnatic responds with 2 kills. Luckily, Speedy will hold his composure. They'll keep that bomb down, but it's still a 1-on-2. And with Crims, there's always a chance, but not if Nex is alive. And Mousesports continuing to just hold on to this very slim lead, 1 round the difference.
Well, heavy middle take from Mouse there. They just keep investing a lot in there, and they're coming out on top of most of the battles up there too. So working really great for Mousesports.
Well, that's a huge round for them to win as well. Look at the buy once again from Fnatic. They're going to be forced to not even get the armor this time. They know they need to start saving some cash and getting the momentum back in their favor. But Mousesports, really strong times to actually take this map now. They're looking very comfortable, holding off everything Fnatic have presented to them. It's just the odd fast tactic that's catching them out. But generally, Mousesports have got the edge here.
JW this time, though, does get inside of middle, but they've boosted Gobby from B into the vents this time. So he'll be in good position, able to spot up JW quite easily from that range. Throwing out a nade to do a little bit of damage potentially into mid, but Crim sees it coming and steps back. Olaf Meister now finding Dennis, does bring it back to an even situation. They won't be able to recover a rifle from that quite so easily, though, because Speedy's still in a position to support that angle. In they go to Forklift, and Bomb goes down. They'll be able to rotate over, and Next does exactly that. But with his teammate gone, he needs to close this rather swiftly. It is down to just one remaining for Fnatic. That's Crims, 12 HP, and a lot less when the op hits.
So then, Mousesports are in touching distance now, I would say. Taking this one to map points. So, obviously, Fnatic economy hasn't been strong throughout this second half. They get 2 Galils, 3 AKs, but more importantly, they get the amount of equipment they need to actually execute onto the site. I wouldn't be surprised if someone slow down a little bit and probably try to take the bomb sites a little bit more methodically. Try to isolate some of the AWP play from Nico. Actually seems to be playing pretty well right now. Speedy pushing through that smoke into A storage. He wants to go for that boost. Pronax actually made this quite famous.
Speedy getting that kill as well, making it work. Does he get away from it though? Using the smoke as cover. But watch for Crims inside that squeaky position. Unfortunately not able to peek at all because he's limited in his options with Dennis there in front. And with Next picking up another 2 kills. He's been great lately. It allows Dennis to take down Crims. Next, by the way, 33 kills. Now leads the way, 10 above anyone else in the server. The next best, JW. Pronax, meanwhile, will take down Speedy and looking for another additional kill onto Dennis. Has it back to just 3 remaining, but it would have to be the ace if he hopes to win this. And look at the positioning right now from Nex. Just waits for him on the flank.
Mousesports right now just picking Fnatic apart everywhere across the map. No matter which part of the map Fnatic is trying to attack, it just seems like Mousesports is on top there. Obviously, it feels like, especially earlier on in the rounds, Fnatic's overconfidence, I feel like it's starting to really cost him a lot here. It's given Mousesports a big bank and just getting everything going right for them. And right now, it's looking like Mousesports is going to take this map.
Well, all 4 players heading towards B. Looks like a fast execution for them. Could be missing a player in middle there as well.
And crucially, although we see Flusha getting Mount Godby, Nico missed his first shot in that B side and was flashed up, so they were able to come on top of him quite quickly. But Nex has compensated for the difference coming back through the vents. Sense has gotten back Fnatic's way, though, so it's left to just Speedy. And they throw the bomb. That's clever to Flusha. Now he'll be able to run it toward the A site, and Crims can do damage here against Speedy. But does Speedy read this? He's still sticking around to find Crims. Eventually, he clues in that they haven't arrived just yet, so back he'll go toward the A site. Slowly, mind you, because he doesn't want to get picked off from Z Connector on the way by in case Crims has stuck around in middle. He hasn't, which means that it will be 1 versus 2 on the A site on the retake, and they've got a decent crossfire set up to Fnatic. 1 at quad, 1 inside A main.
And a Molotov for Fnatic as well.
And there it is, Flusha timing it perfectly as he hears Speedy get closer and closer. Fnatic pulling it back to 12, and you mentioned big bank. It's not a massive bank right now for Mouse.
Not anymore, no.
What a round to win that was. Tech9s into the B side, really scrappy affair, and Mouse was, like we saw them having such heavy mid presence there. Next coming in from mid through the vents, manages to pick up 2 frags there, but this third one escapes. I don't think he had to commit and jump through just then. He could have stayed alive and waited for the team and actually guaranteed that round, but yeah, bad decision from him. And that's going to break the economy of Mousesports this time. They're going to be on pistols. No kits or utility. You can see Crims are opening it up, but Dennis does take him down, making it a 4-on-4 situation now.
Yeah, all done again on the aggression, but Dennis and Nex are compensating with these pistols. It's again in their favor, and Dennis with the M4 has a chance, but Nex getting aggressive on Olaf Meister does get caught off. It looked like it could have been a possible play with that flash coming through, but Olaf was able to dodge it. Watch for Nico on the flank, though, as we look toward JW to continue to open up this site, and that flank I was speaking of doesn't work out either, because Olaf got Nico and JW closes it. We're 1 round apart. Mousesports are going to have guns this time, though.
Yeah, but not going to be the same buy they had before with the AWP play on Nico. He's going to be reduced down to an M4. The rest of the guys as well. This is a struggle for them. Not a single kit. Not much in terms of utility. Only 1 incendiary. That's going to be on Nico.
Look at that graph, though, for Nex.
Jesus, 37. That's massive.
Yeah, that's huge.
We talked about how strong his fragging ability is, and he's just demonstrating that right now.
37 out of 27 rounds played as well. That's very, very impressive stuff. But in they go, Fnatic onto the A site. Olaf Meister taking damage on the way through, down to 6 HP. But the setup right now for Speedy was that he was alone. He's able to get to quad now. That gives Dennis and Nex some room to come into the site and help support. So 3 men on A. As we say that, though, Flusha and crew have clued in as they'll rotate back over toward the B site. Gobby's going to try and do damage with Crims, but he's so low on HP that Crims is able to just take him down very swift and efficiently when he walks back into the open. Speedy, meanwhile, adds to the likeliness of Mousesports getting to match point first, because now it's just Crims and Olaf on 6 HP remaining. Nico's inside the B site, Speedy and A. Dennis and Nex waiting for a call at mid for a rotation, and it's going to have to be toward B, because in they go. Does Nico play this correctly? Olaf's going to scout where he's low on HP, and down he goes. But now Crims knows where Nico is. He's anticipating, though, that he's going to have problems at Heaven, so he won't yet peek him. And Nex, for some reason, thinks that he could possibly still be coming from mid. Crims will take down Dennis. Nico caught with a pistol out. Almost caused a problem in that round, but in the end, it is going to be 15 for Mousesports.
Well, 2 rounds for Fnatic to hold on here, but what a recovery this has been from the first map and the beginning of this map as well. They were 9-2 down, I think it was, and it looked like we were actually saying, oh, there's not really much you can do against a Fnatic when they're the world's best team and you're not drilled, and they somehow shut that question up because they are about to win, potentially, map number 2. Fnatic on a pretty low buy. 2 players on pistol. They have got JW on the AWP, though, but the thing about Fnatic is we saw how good at comebacks they are at ESL 1. Never count them out of a series.
Nico getting the opening kill again, though, for Mousesports. I dare say Mousesports has had more opening kills this match. And again, on Train, it was close, but it's converting the rounds that's been the issue. Less so on Cash, as now they have the one-man advantage again. They've lost Nico in the process since his first kill, but Dennis steps up, holds mid. Nex and Gob, they're going to stick together inside B. Speedy to hold A, and Pronax and Crims looking more and more likely to hit that B site, as Olaf's going to wait inside mid and hope desperately that eventually someone's going to rotate toward that vent, because he himself can't really move forward with Dennis watching that angle. So who moves first? It's Dennis, but he doesn't go Olaf's way. So Olaf needs to read this and get back in the play. Otherwise, his team are trying to execute on the B site with only 2, and Pronax goes down. It becomes more and more likely that Mousesports could even up this series against all odds. We all expected 2-0. Well, it might just go 1-1 after map 2. Olaf's trying not to allow that to happen, as he does take down Dennis, but bomb is on the B site. And Mousesports, with 26 seconds, are just going to hold station, try and leave that in their possession, and there it is. Mouse with Nex, of course, to finish it, stepping out with his 39th kill in 19 rounds, makes it 16-13. 29 rounds, excuse me.
The huge problem there, when Fnatic were up 9-2 at that stage, I think those final rounds, force buying a little bit too much there, not having the respect we spoke about, actually gave them away too much, and it seemed like they got themselves in a pretty difficult situation. Their T side not as strong as we predicted, and they're getting completely locked down.
This is the thing that I was kind of alluding to, though, and again, it was against Fnatic, so we didn't read too much into it, but Mousesports are very good at seeking information and getting aggressive on that map, and it definitely showed in mid that they won a lot of those duels.
But I don't want to undermine Mouse's performance. Obviously, they were playing really well, especially on that second half. On CT, they were really locking Fnatic down a lot. But like you said, at the 9-2 point, they started doing these weird buys and just sort of, it just shows a lack of respect and overconfidence that you have. It doesn't matter what weapons we have, we will just beat them easy. And giving Mousesports that lifeline, which they took and played just great, especially that the first rounds of CT side, they were just locking down that middle where Fnatic was relentlessly wanting to go to. And eventually it was just too big of a gap for Fnatic to come back from anymore.
We'll take a look at the scoreboard. There is one man that sits well above the rest. Of course, we've already touched on that. It is Nex, with 39, almost 40 kills in regulation, 29 rounds, 22 of them headshots. So congratulations to anyone who actually took the time to save money and pick him up on Vulcan.
That's the thing.
We all didn't.
I didn't expect them to win a map, so I left them out of my live roster tonight.
2.2 KDA, 5 first kills, and again, the first kills do favor Mousesports. Not too bad. Dennis not far behind. Well, okay, I shouldn't say not far behind, but not far behind anyone else in the server. He's actually just behind Crimson JW, so second on the team with 24, but that's a carry from Nex for sure. We'll also look at the heat map, because this will be interesting with 29 rounds. We've got full information this time.
Well, let's see. I'd imagine most of the contention will be around the mid area, especially for Fnatic. We can see they're actually spread around pretty evenly. We can see a lot of A play from them, a lot of their frags being made from Fnatic there. Just looking at Mousesports' T side, though, I see they made a lot of their frags towards the B storage area, actually their entrance there. So that's kind of interesting. Shows they actually took advantage of the middle splits, going for the aggression from Fnatic a lot of the time in the B area, so taking them down there. But yeah, like, pretty interesting stuff. I really didn't predict this result, to be honest, in the second match.
No, not at all. I mean, only 3 rounds as well for Fnatic on the second half is pretty ridiculous. Nex is the MVP. We'll take a closer look into his statistics. Definitely a solid match for him.
39 frags. That's insane.
That's a pretty solid statistic to have.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And like,
So what's the last time you went 39 frags in a map, Henry?
the last time I did it?
Yeah.
In regulation.
I can't remember. There were so many.
Is that yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is that code for maybe never?
There were so many times I can't remember last time. But yeah, next we talked about it before the game. One of the best fraggers in Europe, I think, right now. Definitely evolving every month, it seems. And we talked about him being big on Dust too. Seems like Cash is one of his favorite maps as well. I think the next year or so you're going to see a lot more from this guy. Definitely in towards the top end of the scene as well. Amazing player, and he just showed what he can do against Fnatic as well.
Well, let's take a break, catch a breath. We go to Overpass to decide this series that's now going 3 maps. We did not expect that at all. We'll come back in just a minute's time.
It's a nice little 1D from next side. Actually missed that the first time around. So impressive stuff nonetheless, but I'm not going to get them around just yet.
Reactions by JW, and he came in quite quickly. Spread out a lot more evenly in sight. Great kill on JW, who maybe didn't think he was so close, and follows that up with a swift shot.
Comes in with a USP.
Boom.
Boom.
We've got Nico here. Speedy's been removed from the team, so it's very difficult to play against the world's best team.
Yeah, they're having a plan, it seems like, for once, and here we go. They just get the first picks and take over.
Quite a lot of damage there. Olofmeister pushing through, getting good information there. They're pushing on the other side of the map. JW going in behind. It's causing all sorts of chaos there. They can run that flag at the sandbags area, and I'd assume they do the simple smoke at a squeaky door, pop flush out, and just
Now as well, JW's gone down, but they brought Crims with the Olofmeister to bring rifles into play. Next just barely looks away at the wrong time. They still managed to pick up both kills.
Fnatic's overconfidence, I feel like it's starting to really cost him a lot here. It's given Mousesports a big bank.
next coming in from mid through the vent, manages to pick up 2 frags there, but this third one.